Hello and welcome to the first edition of TJ's Video Game Review. I'm your host, TJ, and today I'm taking a look at my favorite game of all time, Monster Rancher, for the Sony PlayStation. Monster Rancher is a simulation game developed and published by Tecmo and released for the Sony PlayStation system in North America on November 30th, 1997. Since then, it has spanned various sequels, spin-offs, a re-release on Nintendo Switch in Japan, and even an anime. While it never caught on that much in the US, it does have a loyal fan base. So without further ado, let's dive into Monster Rancher. Best sound in the world. Monster Rancher starts off with a black and white film introducing you to the world of Monster Rancher before taking you to the title screen. From there you receive a letter you have to sign, which is a good way to put in your name or any name you wish into the game and feel like you're actually part of the game. Once you get to FIMBA headquarters, which stands for Fight International Monster Battle Association, not to be confused with Federation of International Masters Basketball Association, from there you meet your assistant. Of course. Let me love you! After you get your assistant, you go to town to get your first monster. You can get 3 basic types at the market, or go to the shrine to get a random generated monster from a disc, and there are 200 monsters to choose from, with no restrictions that would be set on monster unlocking in future titles. You can insert PlayStation games, music CDs, demos, or even PC games, and you never know what you're gonna get. Give me a dino, give me a dino, give me a dino. On your knees, maggot. A stuffed polar bear? Who you callin' stuffed, mister? I'm a certified army general. Once you're at the ranch, you can feed your monster once a month, have it work to raise its stats, train, battle, or rest. Working, resting, and battle take 1 week, while training takes 4. I'd like to be able to sleep for a whole week, could you imagine? Stats include power, defense, speed, skill, intelligence, and life. The higher your stats, the stronger your monster. But from what I found, it helps to focus on 3 main stats to raise the higher levels and to get your monster's loyalty up so they don't get confused before you enter a tournament battle. Your monster starts out with a base degree of stats and a couple of moves to choose from. You can learn new moves through training, which costs 2,000 gold, 1,000 on months where you get a discount, and you can work different jobs to raise your monster's stats, which grant you either 100 gold or 150 gold depending on the job. Some jobs allow you to raise 2 stats, but lowers 1 stat to balance it out. And if you ever run out of money, it's game over. Just like in real life. Another thing you can do is go to the shop to buy various items you can use on your monster, and there's no limit on how many items you can use in a single week. You also meet a new character in the shop owner. You will. Then you have the battle in itself. To move from the left and right, you use the R1 and L1 button. D-pad to select an attack and the S button to confirm. Square pushes the opponent's monster back when they get too close, and before each battle, monster's stats are compared and they use a tit-tat-toe system with tournament battle. The monster with the most wins win. Of course, you don't have to win every match you have, and even if you get in second place, you can still earn money and have your monster fame go up. Tournaments are ranked by E, D, C, B, A, and S. E being the lowest and S being the highest. Once you beat S, you get invited to the Major 4. Beat the Major 4 and you win the game. Once you're at rank C and when it's been 4 in-game years, a man named Khan visits you wanting to go blowing with your monster. This gives you a new screen to look at and functions that are different from the rest of the game, and it's a good breath of fresh air. Be careful though, because your monster can get... You actually lost your monster? What? It could have happened to anyone. Sure it could've, maggot. Believe it or not, Monster Rancher actually has a timeline. Monster Rancher 1 actually takes place in the early 2000s, even though the in-game calendar starts in the year 1000, so it makes no sense. And it takes place after the events of the anime. One of the downsides to Monster Rancher is after a while the game gets repetitive, and once it gets repetitive, it gets boring. You're shown the same screens, the same animation, the same gameplay element, and the same kind of music all the way to the end credits. If you don't like repetitiveness in your games, then this is not the game for you. Quit your belly aching, maggot. At least you can actually play games. Look at me. Do you think I can touch any of those buttons with these paws? Yeah, I guess not. And don't even get me started on those handheld devices. Baby Cub's gonna touch those buttons. Must be tough. I guess there's nothing more to say, but... What? What? No. No! Look at them! Everybody's wearing black. There's not a shy eye in the house. I've seen more laughter and joy at real funerals. The monster can die. The monster you spend so much time training can die. Why would they do that? And you don't see it coming. This fact haunted our childhood. If you take too much time to train your monster, then it will die before you can beat the game. How is that fair? There are a lot of tough opponents and you need time to grind to beat them. You know what? If the game is going to shit, then so am I. Overall, Monster Rancher is a fun game that is challenging, without being too challenging if you don't count the time limit to a monster's untimely demise. Despite being somewhat repetitive, it has a cute art style, good characters, and awesome looking monsters that are fun to wait. All I have to say is, get it. That's it for this edition of T-Trade Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time.